Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Devin. I am going to be using this little mic because I am off of a really noisy street right now. Like across the street there is a soccer field and then there's going to be a lot of trucks coming by and there's like a lot of cars honking. So I'm hoping that this will help with all of the noise. I've been meaning to do one of these Mexico City recommendation videos for a very long time now. I usually spend like months on end here. So I think that the most that I spent here is like 3 consecutive months, which is going to change. Crossing my fingers that this is going to change. I really want to dedicate like half of my life, if not a little bit more, here and then like the other half in the US because I'm Mexican American and like that's just, I bridge 2 cultures, you know? But before we start off and before we get into the recommendations and the specifics, I think I want to preface this video by saying, learn the language. And I think I would give this advice if you're going anywhere in the world. Take the time to learn at least a little bit the language that's native to the place that you are going to visit. In this case, Spanish. I think it's really important to make that effort to just see how you can communicate if you're at a restaurant or if you're at a store or if you're just walking and you're saying good morning, hello, thank you, bye. How much is this? Like, what is, like just take the time, put in the effort to learn. Even though most likely you're probably going to be going to Roma, Condesa, or Juarez, which are the 3 main neighborhoods that everyone usually flocks to in Mexico City. You can get by with speaking English, but that's not the point. I would still say to put that effort in. But yes, okay. So while we're on this topic of neighborhoods, where to stay? So I would say Roma, Condesa, and Juarez are probably the most popular. And if it's your first time in Mexico City, you're most likely going to be staying in one of these 3. By the way, these neighborhoods are beautiful and I love being there as well. You have everything that you need in close proximity. There's a lot of cafes, there's a lot of bars, there's a lot of amazing restaurants. It's just everything is so accessible and it's so walkable. It's not a bad place to be. But I would also like to introduce other neighborhoods that maybe you can venture off to. Like I would say people usually, this is kind of like an introductory to Mexico City, right? But like maybe spend a few days there. And then if you have time, like go out of this bubble and seek other places. I've stayed in Santa Maria la Ribera, and that's a bit north. It's a bit out of the way. And when I lived there, I used to walk to Roma Norte to go meet up with some friends. It would take me about an hour, like 45 minutes to an hour, depending, which is a nice walk. I enjoyed it, but it is a little bit out of the way depending on your travel plans. Like if you're staying for an extended amount of time, I would say absolutely, definitely go visit other neighborhoods. But if you have a limited amount of time, then decide accordingly. I'm currently right now staying in Escandon, which is not far from Condesa, honestly. Like it's a 15-minute walk from Condesa, but I love this neighborhood so much. Every time I come, I like try out different neighborhoods to see like where can I see myself living, and so far it's Escandon. And you will hardly, well, the time that I've been here, hardly find people speaking English out on the streets. Like when I'm walking, everybody's speaking Spanish. When I go to cafes, when I go to restaurants, I honestly truly feel like I'm in Mexico, and I've just been really comfortable here. So I highly recommend that you come and visit Escandon. Another neighborhood that I want to recommend is San Miguel Chapultepec. Now San Miguel Chapultepec is right before you hit Bosque Chapultepec, and that neighborhood is it's so quaint. Like it is so small. It reminds me like a little village, but it is very quiet and it is very calm. There are a lot of galleries there. There are a few restaurants, cafes, like you'll still find all of that, but it's a bit more low key. And honestly, I really enjoyed it when I was there. I almost went there, but I would definitely stay there next time I come back. This next city neighborhood that I'm about to mention, I have actually not spent much time there, but I do have a lot of friends that live there and I've been hearing a lot of people talk about it, and I really want to go and stay there next time that I'm here. This neighborhood is called Narvarte. I can't give like a full-on review. I just know that I've been hearing a lot of really good things about it. Friends live there. It's on my radar, so I'm just sort of putting it out there. Narvarte is going to be the next. It's like Roma Sur, which it's, yeah, Roma Sur, and then Narvarte is like right below. So it's also not that far of a trek. They're all in the same sort of vicinity. I think the only one that I mentioned that's a little bit up north is Santa Maria la Ribera, but also Coyoacán. So now Coyoacán is like the opposite. It's like south of Escandon and Narvarte. That's a little out of the way, but that neighborhood is beautiful. All of these neighborhoods are beautiful, but Coyoacán, I feel like it's a gem. It's a true gem. And that one, I feel like you will be a little bit out of the way, but maybe you like that and maybe you don't mind that. And I would definitely go check that out. Museo Frida Kahlo is there. Parque Frida Kahlo is there. There's a really cool ceramics shop there and it's worth the visit. I'm sure that you're going to hit Coyoacán when you're here. That's one of the main ones. But yeah, those are the places that I would recommend staying. Narvarte, Escandón, Coyoacán, San Miguel Chapultepec, Roma Condesa Juárez, because it's just popular. Everyone flocks there. I guess there's just a lot of foreigners there. And then Santa Maria la Ribera. And also San Rafael. That's like also another one. I don't know. I'm just throwing these neighborhoods out there because I feel like we need to expand, you know? We can't just be sticking to this foreigner little bubble here. It's like, let's get a more holistic view of Mexico City and get a more realistic image of what it is to live here and what it is to be immersed in the culture and in these communities. And I think that the best way to do it is to just neighborhood hop and don't just stay in one place. Don't just stay in this bubble. That would be my recommendation. Okay, so let's move on to cafes. I love cafe shopping. It is my most favorite thing to do when I go travel. Like this can be my full-time job. I actually made a whole video dedicated to cafe spots that I recommended when I was here last year. So I'm going to link that down below because they still stand. I still love those cafes, but I'm going to be mentioning others that I have frequented while I was here this time around because Mexico City has so many cafes and they're all so good and they're all so beautiful. And we all know that like Mexican architecture and like the design is just chef's kiss. Like these places are so beautiful to be in. So yes, the first one on my list is going to be Marne. That one is in San Miguel Chapultepec. I sat outside and I got a bread and then I got a cold brew, and the cold brew was really good. If you want to get some reading done in the morning and then you just kind of want like a slow start, I would say if you're in the area, Marne is a really good coffee shop to stop by. The next one is Cafe Avellaneda. This one is in Coyoacán, and it is actually the first specialty coffee in Mexico City. It's still standing and it's still so freaking good. They have really, really good coffee there. If you are a coffee connoisseur and if you're into process and washing methods, like go here because you can choose. Like it's a really cozy, snug place. It's a really tiny cafe, but the coffee is amazing. And so are the pastries. I'm going to be mentioning a few cafes here. But I will say that this one in particular is not to be missed. So if you don't go to any of these shops that I'm going to be mentioning, Cafe Avellaneda should be your must. So I highly recommend that one. The next one is Cumbe, and Cumbe is in Smack Center, Roma Norte. It is Melbourne style coffee. I did not get coffee when I was there. I actually got a chai lavender latte, which was superb. Like I am craving it. I'm still craving that. I think I'm going to get it before I leave. And I didn't get any pastries either. But I will say that the roommates that I was living with last month, they like swear by this coffee shop, and they live in Mexico. And that's like their favorite coffee shop. But I liked the chai latte that I got. The interior is super nice. It's super cute. It is off of two main streets, so there's going to be a lot of action. There's going to be a lot of noise if you're sitting outside, because they do have an outside seating area. But honestly, when I went there and when I sat inside and I had my latte and I read a book, I didn't feel like the noise didn't filter inside as much. Like it was cool reading indoors and I didn't have a problem. So if you're in Roma Norte, I would say check out Cumbe. And of course, here now that I'm in Escandon, cafe hopping here, and I have found two that I really, really liked. The first one is called Apanpacho. That one's like a few blocks from me. I like this one because it is kind of like in a residential area. So also, I usually go to coffee shops in the morning. So I like to go take my book. So I just like calmness, peacefulness, and the ability to read while I'm drinking coffee and having my breakfast. And here I've had the lattes and they're really good. And I've also had their pan dulce. I also had molletes, which is bread with cheese and beans, and it was delicious. So I recommend Apanpacho if you find yourself in Escandon. And it's a really cute place too. The next place I recommend in Escandon, which is like right across the street from me, is called Conejo Rojo. Now, Conejo Rojo has really good coffee. They roast it themselves. And look at this. It's like cute branding. This little bunny, Conejo Rojo. This is a cold brew horchata, which I have been obsessed with. Every time I go everywhere, I'm like, do you guys have cold brew horchata? Do you guys have, like, it's so, so good. It's very community based. My roommate that I live with right now, she's like, all my friends go to this coffee shop. And then like when it's anyone's birthday, like we all gather and we all buy somebody cake and then we all sing. And it's just like, I love that community vibe. And it's like really dear. Like that shop is dear to Escandon. And wait. Estufas. Lavadoras. Do you hear that? I love that. You will not be disappointed with the coffee. So if you are in Escandon, or even if you're not in Escandon, come visit Conejo Rojo. So another cafe is called Saint. Saint is located in Condesa, and there are a lot of people that visit this place, but they have really good pastries, really good coffee, and like really good sandwiches and juices. Like they have it all. There's like a library right across the street from it. It's also outdoor seating. It's really lovely. It's situated in a really lovely place. So yeah. Now I'm going to sprinkle in a tea shop because maybe coffee isn't your thing and you want tea. Also, I do think that there are tea options in these places, but I just usually go get coffee. But this place is specifically for tea, and it's in Roma Norte. It's called Casa Tassel. It is such a quaint little tea place, and they have a lot of tea options. Every time I bring people there, they're like, oh my God, it's so lovely. I love it here. It's so cute. Like it is. It's super cute. And I usually go like during the evening, right before the sun's about to set. And it's just it's such a vibe, you know? I don't think I've ever gone in the morning. I usually go in the evenings or at night to have tea there. But I really like, this is my favorite tea spot in Mexico City. And if you find yourself in Roma Norte, I highly recommend going. I usually get the oolong milk, the milky oolong tea. And oolong is another tea that I'm currently obsessed with. So if you are there, Casa Tassel. Now, as a self-proclaimed boba addict, I have been searching for the best boba in Mexico City for as long as I've been coming here. And I have not found it until last month. I don't even know how I found this place, honestly. I think I was just walking past it. And every time I walk past a boba place, I try it out because I'm searching, I'm on the hunt. But this one, guys, we found it. We found the best boba place in Mexico City. It's called Sunchill. So it's called Sunchill, de Sunchill, and I think it's located in like the Juarez area. Might I say that? I think it is. I'll put a map for reference, but this is it. If you've been looking for boba, please go here. I got the Ojicha milk tea with boba. It was amazing and I loved it. And I am super happy that I have finally found a place that I'm obsessed with. Now, where to eat? I can go on and on about places and food to eat in Mexico City. We all know that the food here is amazing, and any restaurant that you walk into is probably going to be great. So it's really hard to make this list, believe me. And I also just like so many other restaurants that I'm not going to be mentioning because it's just a lot. And how do you even fit all of this into here? So I think that the way I did it is just like I just picked cuisine, different types of cuisines, and the ones that I have enjoyed and loved while I'm here. And I've had more than once, and I keep going back. So these are the ones that I recommend. If you are in the mood for Chinese food, I would say Canton Mexicali. That is located in Condesa. And I was craving it last time I was here. I was like, I really want good Chinese food. The interior is cute. It's like fancy. It's cute. And I think that you do need reservations. But I've been there by myself, and I would just, I think I just had to wait like 15, 20 minutes. So, but if you really, like if you need a table and if you absolutely want to eat here, I wouldn't gamble. I gambled because I've been there a few times, but I wouldn't gamble. I would make reservations. So I would highly recommend Canton. Now, if you want really good pozole, Casa de Toño. I know that it's like touristy and it's like super popular, but honestly, for a good reason. They have really good pozole. I had their pollo, red pozole. This is the first pozole that like makes me think of my grandma's pozole, which is saying a lot because every time I go to a shop and I order pozole, first off, I always hesitate because no one can ever top your grandma's pozole. But every time that I've been to a place that sells pozole, I'm just like mid. Like I'm always coming out disappointed because it's not what I've expected. But Casa de Toño pozole, I would highly recommend. It is really, really good. If you want mariscos, I would say Mi Compa Chava. That marisqueria I found when I was here this time around, and it is so good. I had the aguachile while I was there, and the waiter just like gave me a shrimp taco. He was like, here, it's on the house. But both of these plates were so good. And don't come for me, but might I say, I think I prefer this one to Contramar. I don't know. Contramar is beautiful. It's lovely. It's great. It's delicious in its own right. But try Mi Compa Chava in Roma Norte. And yeah, I don't think that you will be disappointed. There is a lot of people there as well, but it filters pretty quickly. So, and the space, the interior. Yeah, please visit this marisqueria. So if you find yourself in the mood for some Indian food, I would say Dawat in Polanco. I was so surprised. I don't even know why I'm surprised, but I was floored with how good this Indian food is. Like it might be better than the Indian food that I've had in LA. But seriously, it's delicious. I had the chicken masala, I had the vindaloo, the really spicy vindaloo, and it was hot. It was so good. And then I also had the mango lassi. Do not forget to get the mango lassi. Like if you're craving Indian food, go here. Comal Oculto is in San Miguel Chapultepec. So if you're into like Mexican bites or just like Mexican cuisine, I had the pollo chilaquiles when I was there. And it's a really cute, like it's really tiny. They only have outdoor seating and it's a communal table. It's not even that big, but it's really nice. I was sitting next to these people who were visiting from New York and I heard them. I mean, they were literally sitting right next to me. So it's not like I was eavesdropping, or maybe I was, but it's like you hear everybody's conversations. But they were like, whoa, this is probably one of like the better restaurants that we've visited while being out here. And I was like, yeah, I agree. Yeah, they have really good food. They also have agua del dia. The day that I went, they had mango piña, mango pineapple water, and it was delicious. So if you find yourself in San Miguel Chapultepec, and if you find yourself in the galleries there or visiting Luis Barragan's work, I would say Comal Oculto is worth it. Now, Tetetlan. I'm actually going to be putting Tetetlan in like the cafe recommendation. It's a restaurant, but I have never eaten the food there. I've only gotten tea, coffee, and pastries, so I can't really speak to the restaurant, but I'm absolutely positive that the food is delicious as well. The space is gorgeous. It has been designed by Luis Barragan, and the floor is all glass, and it is sitting atop of volcanic rock. I'm going to insert some clips here because it is It's beautiful. This place is beautiful. I had the oolong tea, of course, again when I was there, and then I had some pastries. And I really like that upstairs you can go and then you can read. There's like a whole library of books, design books. And then just being there, like who doesn't like being in beautiful spaces? I go for the vibe. I go for the space, the natural light. It doesn't let you down for sure. You definitely have to go. It is a bit of a ways far from these neighborhoods that I was saying and recommending to stay at, but it's absolutely worth it. And I would say make a day out of this. Go to a museum that I'm going to recommend, MUAC, and then go to Tetetlan afterwards and whatnot. But yeah, do that. They also have like really cool events there. They had like vinyl night the other day, which I missed sadly, but they also host events. There's also yoga. So yes, Tetetlan. That's a must. You can't miss that. Okay, now museums and galleries. The first one is MUAC, Museo Universitario de Arte Contemporáneo. Wow, that was a mouthful. Almost got stuck there. It's a beautiful building. Let's just say that. Like, I loved the art there, but then the space itself is gorgeous. And also, I'm not going to mention, like, we all know Jumex, we know Museo de Antropología, we know Palacio de Bellas Artes, like go to those, but I'm also going to give other options as well. So yes, MUAC. Now the next one isn't really a museum or a gallery, but it honestly should be a museum. It's called Biblioteca Vasconcelos. And when I was living in Santa Maria la Ribera last time, I think there was like a 15-minute walk from there. This library is chef's kiss of design. Do not miss this when you're in Mexico City. The next one is Curimanzuto, which is in San Miguel Chapultepec. Also, beautiful space, beautiful interior. When I went, they were showing Lilia Carrillo's work. I think I found my favorite Mexican artist. Like, she uses collaging as her medium, and it was amazing. I'm going to show you a bit of her art here, but I think that anything that is shown in this space is gorgeous. So I would highly recommend going here. The next one is Casa Aguilardi. I'm going to say that like I've only been to Casa Aguilardi once, and that was in 2019. I think things have changed because I've been like reading some reviews and it's been a bit off. I don't know. All I'm going to say is like, I'm going to trust my experience, and this has been my experience. I went with one other person, so it was a private tour, and if anything, I recommend doing that. I think this is a space that you really want to experience and enjoy intimately with your own party. And I'll go visit all of Luis Barragan's work. Like, he is one of the most treasured Mexican architects out there, but for some reason, this house, I would not miss this house. Like, the geometry, the play on light, the colors, I loved everything. This house was just so special. Like, I don't know, it spoke differently to me. So I would absolutely recommend visiting this place, but I would say if you can, and if it's still an option, do a private tour. Okay, now I want to talk about experiences. Like, if you're here, maybe traveling solo and you want to connect with people, there's a lot of events going on that I would totally recommend going to. So the first place that I'm going to recommend is called Laguna. So La Laguna has been designed by Productora. They did an amazing job with it. And it's like a creative hub. So you're going to find cafes here. You're going to find food here. You're going to find art. You're going to find architecture. There's also like a really tiny architecture and design bookstore, which I highly recommend. I just highly recommend going to Laguna. I do. And so they host events every so often. I think that the next one coming up is going to be like a creative writing class. Yesterday, I went to a bordadera workshop, which was so much fun. Actually, hold on. I've never done this before, okay? So don't judge me. This is my first time. But I think it was so therapeutic. It was so nice to get to meet other people, to spend an evening with them, to drink tea. Like, it was actually in their tea space called Hoja. This is what I started making. So it's like a super artsy place that they host a lot of really cool events. I would follow them on socials so that you can see if there's one being hosted when you are here. But yes, Laguna. And then the next one I'm going to recommend is actually called Casa Planta Alma. I stayed at Casa Planta Alma last month, and it was a gamble for me because I was like, this is gonna go really good or it's gonna go like really bad. But like obviously it turned out to be the latter. And they host, it's like a really spiritual community. They have regular yoga classes, regular sound baths, and then like events here and there. I hosted an event while I was there. I hosted a dried flower arranging event, which was, I loved it. I loved hosting that. It was beautiful. But I also attended a shibari class, which was a lot of fun, and it was very educational, but still a lot of fun. And they have a lot of events there. Like, I will leave their stuff linked down below. I like it because it's a cool mixture of people who live in Mexico, but also people who are visiting. So it's a really nice community. It's a really welcoming community. There's a lot of things that I recommended, but I think that like top, the ones that you cannot miss when you're here are all of these. No, I'm joking. But okay, Café Avellaneda. That's a coffee shop. If I had to choose one, which I don't even know why I'm doing this, but like if I have to choose one, Café Avellaneda, Tetetlan, and I would recommend Curimanzuto and Biblioteca Vasconcelos and Laguna. You will not be disappointed. It's in Doctores. It's not too far from Roma Norte. It's just a walk. Do that. But just, I think my overall advice for Mexico City is enjoy, explore, learn, connect, be respectful, immerse yourself in the culture. Like, Mexicans are so welcoming, and I have never heard of anybody coming to Mexico City and being like, I'm never going there again. Like, this is a city that literally pulls you back every single time. There's never enough time to spend here. Even though I've been here for months and months on end, I still feel like there's so much that I haven't seen. Oh, okay. There's another thing that I recommend, another experience that I recommend that I actually got. I got a bacteria infection, so I wasn't able to go, but I was like, this was on my list of like top things to do. The Chinampas in Xochimilco. This experience seemed so beautiful, and my friends all went and they were like, this was an amazing experience. So I think I'm just going to drop that in there as well, that if you have enough time, go see the sunrise at the Chinampas. And you can choose between like yoga or like an agricultural experience. So yeah, I would highly recommend that. In terms of getting around, I am a big fan of public transportation, and Mexico City has really good public transportation. I would take the bus everywhere. If I would not walk everywhere, I would take the bus everywhere. So if it was like Tetetlan, I went here on the bus. It took me about 40 minutes to get there, but if you have the time, it's absolutely worth it. But just walk everywhere too, right? Walk, take the bus, and then Uber, if you'd like to Uber. There are alternate rideshare services. So there's Uber, there's InDrive. It's one that you can like auction. So like they tell you a recommended price and you just fill in whatever you want to bid, and then they either accept or deny your request. And I use cash for that one. I'm actually not sure if you can use card. But so there's Uber, there's InDrive, and there's also Didi. So those are the three rideshare services that I would recommend checking out. Always use public transportation, the bus. I've actually never been on the metro. Yeah, so I can't really give a solid advice on that. Because I just walk everywhere. I hope that this video was helpful in some way or another. I'm going to leave everything linked down below. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next video. Hi everyone, it's Devin from the future. I am currently editing this video, and I forgot to note that when you are booking places to stay in Mexico City, I would highly recommend joining WhatsApp groups and booking through there. There are a lot of Mexicans who are renting out their rooms or their apartments. It's a great way to connect with locals, and it's a great way to make friends. That's my preferred platform. I'm going to include groups that I have used previously to book down below. There are a ton of them, and as always, please do your research and please be safe. But this is honestly my preferred method. Also, look into local Mexican hotels. I would stay away from big businesses and Airbnbs unless you're like meeting the family on site. Like, what's the point? You're coming to connect, to learn, and Airbnb just removes that interaction for you. And yeah, I don't know. Those two methods are my preferred methods. And this entire video is my humble opinion. This is not sponsored. I'm not getting paid for this. So yeah, that's all I have to say on that matter.